Okay, this is part 3. So at this point, we're working on our title block. In the last video, we drew the title block and we set it up where it had center points that we can align to. So we should be ready at this point to go ahead and start adding in some things. So the first thing I want to do is zoom in on this box here, and we're going to put a Project Lead the Way logo here. So what you have to do is zoom into the box and you're going to find where it says image. We're still, okay, where we're at right now, we're still in manage title block in the sketch mode. So here I click image and then I'm going to draw where I want this image first. And I just would suggest don't spend a lot of time on this, just get it close to the edges where it's kind of symmetric. And yours is probably going to pop up in the pictures folder. You're probably going to see your pictures. So remember how we got to the templates for public documents. So we went to Bootcamp, we went to users, we went to public, we went to public documents, Autodesk, Inventor 2016, templates, and now you can see your images here that you want to use. And remember in the previous videos, we showed that we made 2 logo files, one called PLTW-3 and one called MHHS-3. You will see other things in here from other people. Don't change the names of things. Don't move things around because you're messing with someone else's work. This is indeed a public folder. So I'm going to choose PLTW-3, the one we prepared for this video. It's going to complain and say that the file you're placing this component in has not been saved. This may cause some problems resolving links between the files. So if you click OK, it's going to go ahead and put it in there anyway, and it will all work out. Okay, so now that we've got our Project Lead the Way logo on one side of our drawing, we're going to go to the other side and put a heritage logo over here. So we're going to zoom in here. Same thing, we're still in the image tool, so we're going to just draw where we want the picture to show up. And now I want to use the one I saved previously, and it's also complaining about, hey, you're trying to put something in here, I don't know what it is, but it's going to be okay. I think it has to do with the fact that we started our drawing in the playground folder and we're putting stuff in here from the template. And the reason we're doing that is we are making a drawing template, so it needs to be with the template. So just ignore those warnings. Okay. Next thing we need to do is we need to add some text. So let me check my notes here. What it says is right here, we want to put the text Midlothian Heritage High School in this box. So we're going to click on the text tool. We're going to, just inside this box, we're going to draw where we want that text to show up. And I would suggest don't overlap your lines, just get it where you want it to be. The things we need to change on these big titles are as follows. We need to center justify it, both horizontally and vertically. And then we're going to make this one a 0.15 size. So that's 0.15 inches. And then we're going to type down here our text. Midlothian Heritage High School. Check your spelling. And it looks like it's going to wrap, but it's really not going to. Click OK. And you'll see that we have some text in here. The other thing I need to talk about at this point is constraining a part, or constraining your image. And what I want to do is make sure that this is aligned horizontally and vertically inside this box. And in the last video, I went through a lot of trouble setting up some centers. And so I have a center on these edges around it. So if you look real close right here in the middle, well, you can't really see it. I'll zoom out. You can see there's a little green dot right here in the middle. On my other computer, it shows up a lot easier. But there's a little green dot right here, and that is the center of that text. So I'm going to align this horizontally with a constraint. So I click on the horizontal constraint, and I click on this dot and the center of this line. And what that does is it is now aligning this text with that center. And I guess to make this make sense, I should have made them off center. I'll do that in the next one that we do. Okay, now we're going to align it vertically, and I'm going to align this center with the center point of this line. and it moved it ever so narrowly, and then I'm going to press escape. So now we have our first text in our title block. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to put, let's see what we want to put next. We're going to put the designer in the next box. Okay. So I'm going to click on the text tool, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Identify a space where it's going to be. But I don't want to just put the designer as a text. I want to put your name. So we're going to center justify everything. And for these, we're going to use, let's see, my notes say 0.14. So we're going to put 0.14 size text here. So I don't want to put in designer. What I want to use is I want to use a variable. And the variable I want to use is the one from the drawing itself. So I'm going to click on the model, and then I'm going to click on author. And then right here, this little X with a down arrow says add text parameter. This is a variable, and it puts it in. It's got these little greater than and less than signs, okay? And then it's got author in the middle. That tells you it's an automatic field. So we're going to click OK. Just for fun, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Actually, that's not the kind of move I want. I'm just going to slide it around here so we'll actually see the constraints work this time. I'm going to horizontally constrain this here to this center point. You see it move down, and I'm going to vertically align it from here to this center point on this line right here. Bam. Okay, and get out of that. So that's the first one we want to do. We've identified the author. I want to go over here. I want to add the drawing name, the class period, and the date of the file creation in these. So I'm going to do the same thing. Fill the text. We're going to make a text box that fills in this area. Center everything horizontally and vertically. And we're going to put 0.14 inches. And then this time we're going to use a model property. What are we doing here? We're going to do file name is the one we're looking for. File name. Okay. And then I click on add the parameter, and it drops it in there, and I click OK. And again, I need to center justify these. So I'm going to move it out of the way a little bit so you can tell that it's doing something. So I'm going to horizontally constrain this from here to, I can go to the same place here. And I want to vertically constrain it from the center point to this line here. Okay, so now everything is centered up. The next one I want to add is the creation date in this box right here. So we're going to click text and do the same thing. I'm going to define my little area, and I'm going to center it both horizontally and vertically in the box that I created. And this is going to be a 0.14 text size. And the text I want to use is model property. And in this one, I want to use the creation date, this one. And what that's going to do is pull the date that the drawing was made. Okay, so there's the creation date. Last thing I need to do is a class period. And to do this, we are going to put something that's a little bit different this time. We're going to go to the text. We're going to highlight this little box here, draw our little box in, and we're going to center everything up. We're going to put in 0.14 for our size. And now I'm going to use, instead of a model property, I'm going to put prompted entry. And it says, what do you want them to see when they enter this field? So I'm going to put the words period, question mark. So what this is going to be is when you start your new drawing, it's going to ask you, what period are you in? Okay. And then I add that, oh, that's already in there. So I click OK. And oops, something didn't take. So we're going to open this up again. Get out of the text tool. I need to open this text box back up because my size is wrong. 0.14. Still didn't take it. Let's try it again. 0.14. What size is that? That's still 0.12. That's what's going on. I didn't have it selected, so we're going to have to select this, 0.14, and that should be okay. Okay, well, we've got the sizes right. It just looks funny on the screen. I don't know why. We'll check it whenever we go back and do some stuff later. Horizontal constraints, vertical constraints. Oh, I know what it is. It's mixed case, and it looks funny to me. All right. Did I not get a center point there? There it is. Okay. So when I did all the center points earlier, that's why I was doing that. Sorry about the delay in the middle there. So if we zoom out now, I'm going to escape because we've got our constraints in place. And if you zoom out, now you can see we've got places for author, the school, the file name, the period, and the creation date. And we've added in our pictures. So now we are having a pretty nice looking logo here. Since this video is already 11 minutes, I'm going to hit stop and we'll do one more part.